Okay, these are my 3 note cards, and this is why Boycott split. Dissociative identity disorder is a disorder that has piqued my interest for many years now, so I've done a lot of research. And one of the articles that I could find is by Tracy, and it is What is Dissociative Identity Disorder? Dissociative identity disorder, also known as multiple personality disorder, or DID, is a disorder that is caused when a child goes through repeated trauma. Stanley Yu, Mark Awich, in Vitshu's 2012 book Neuroimaging and Dissociative Disorders explains that this happens when the brain puts up amnesic walls between memories to protect the child from those memories. When this happens, the brain can cause a new personality to develop, otherwise known as an alter. This alter will hold the child's trauma and make it so it can deal with it better separately. Many TV shows and movies have tried to replicate this. One, for instance, is Split. Split is a horror movie that tries to show people how dangerous DID can be by showing Kevin, the main character who has DID, as the Beast. The Beast is one of Kevin's alters, and it is a superhuman-like creature that convinces his other alters to kidnap 3 young girls so that he can torture them. This movie has made people be afraid of multiple personality disorder and DID, as if they are like, there's a side of them that's more evil, as if it's like an evil twin. This is not an accurate representation of DID, and it's very harmful to the community. My first point is that DID was already a very stigmatized disorder. It isn't very well known, so there's a lot of misconceptions about it, especially since a lot of people, the only time they've ever heard about it is in horror movies. Through my research, I found a YouTube channel called Dissociated about a girl who has DID and makes videos debunking the misconceptions about DID and her experiences with Split. In Dissociated's video, Damaging to DID, Split and Glass, DID in the Media, Dissociative Identity Disorder, from 2018, she explains that she has gotten numerous comments asking her which one of them is the murderer. She also had a friend once, when she told them that she wasn't feeling well, said that it was okay as long as the alter that came out was not a murderer. She also had to deal with a lot of people thinking that because they saw it in a movie that it is not real. At one point, she got committed to a psych ward for reasons, and she got diagnosed with DID. When this happened, her university kicked her out and told her not to come back because they were afraid that she was a danger to the other students. And this is only one example of a bad situation because of the stigmatization around DID. My second point is that due to stigmatization and over-dramatization of DID, many people have begun to believe that it is a fictional disorder. In fact, according to Richard and Stibetz in 2000, their journal, Therapist's View of the Self, working with the person with dissociative identity disorder, many professionals have refused to work with people with DID. Some of the time, this is because they are not required to learn how to deal with people with DID, so they don't know how, or it is because they do not believe that it is real, they believe that it is a made-up thing for movies, or because there's a lot of negativity surrounding DID and they don't want involved with it. This only further stigmatizes the group and causes an already struggling group to have to suffer on their own because they can't get help. Another thing is that most people in the DID community would not be that mad if it weren't for the director's response to the community. The director, M. Night Shyamalan, was warned by both people in the DID community and professionals in the psychiatric field to not go through with this movie, or to at very least put a disclaimer on their movie. According to the article by Joe Burt in 2019, the article is called Creators of Split Ignore Dissociative Identity Disorder Community. Shyamalan was even in direct contact with a clinical psychologist named Bethany Grant, who expressed that she had some issues with the movie as well. And she told Shyamalan that she would connect them with actual people with DID so that they could make it more accurate. Somewhere within the filming, Brand lost contact with Shyamalan and noticed that James McAvoy, the person who plays Kevin, came out with a video saying that he was unable to find anyone with DID that wanted to help. They also ignored numerous petitions to get them to put a disclaimer on their video or on their movie, meaning that the people that made Split not only knew exactly what they were doing, but also lied about not being able to find someone to help them and refused to give anything as simple as a simple disclaimer at the end of their movie. I'd like to end here by saying that Split is not an accurate representation of DID, and it is very harmful to the DID community. The people who created this film lied to the audience and ignored the pleas of professionals and those who have been harmed by this film. Split has caused further stigmatization of those with DID and this disorder is real. This disorder does not make you any scarier than any other person. This disorder just makes those who have suffered so much already feel stigmatized even further than what their trauma already makes them feel because of stuff like this movie. People have lost their friends, family, and jobs because of things like this. The creators of Split should be held responsible for what they have done and apologize to the DID community.